Do-do-do. Alrighty. Hey, Dana. Hey, Julie. Alrighty, I was inviting people, so I was distracted. So it's been a while since I have been on here, and one of the reasons is I've just been really feeling like everything's good. Everything is flowing like it needs to be. And I think a lot of that is just that meditation that we were doing, and I want to get back into that. Hey, Sarah, I'm getting back into doing the videos a little bit, and have y'all seen that movie, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind? It's a really good movie with Greer. And what I've discovered is that the technique he's using has a lot of what we've been doing with the meditation that we're working on with this energy field, which really looks like a spaceship, doesn't it? You know, your energy field. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. I want to say some things up front before we just jump into meditation. But the meditation he's talking about is going inward and expanding kind of at the same time, which is what I've been talking about. And it's kind of a hard concept to get and to understand. It's well, for me, maybe easy for you, but for me, it's probably taken me, I don't know, a good 10 years to really understand no space and fullness at the same time and how that happens in the body. A movie that's not necessarily metaphysical, but I totally love it, is called Between the Folds. It's about origami, how they can take, have props. Oh no, he has props. This is a sheet, but imagine a sheet of paper. You can take one sheet of paper and they can make like amazing 3D objects without even cutting the paper. That's what makes it even more difficult. So take and fold this one piece of paper, and one line in there is like, this is like pure consciousness, right? But as soon as you put a fold in the paper and then you flatten it back out, you have memory. That crease has created a memory, like in the fabric of time and space. So I'm always watching things with that perspective of consciousness, time, and space. So here's a piece of paper which could represent all of reality being folded and creating a crease which makes a presence or a memory or a consciousness. And how I want to carry that forward is, number one, why I mentioned the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind is I really want to start a group locally doing that. So if you live like around Fredericksburg or close, give me a holler. I want to try to get some groups going on where we go out into nature, do the meditation, which is basically going inside, expanding yourself to the edge of the universe, because it's all about consciousness is what he's talking about. That's why I totally love it. It's not like inviting a spaceship to come here. It's about inviting a higher consciousness to interact with it. So, like I said, that show that I really like, or the movie that I like, In Between the Folds, takes a piece of paper, you fold it, it has a memory, it has a consciousness when you fold it back out. And so, but imagine this is the fabric of time and space. And of course, I'm not in zero gravity, so I really can't do. Oh, Sarah said all she has is a black screen. Hey, Donna. Wow, haven't seen you in forever. So this fabric here, what I'm trying to represent when we're in meditation, and kind of what I believe Greer is getting at too, is that imagine this is just a fabric of time. And other people have used the example of an ocean. So something comes out of that ocean, or out of that fabric of time, and then you have two people, two entities, right? And we tend to interact out here. So here, this fabric of time that we're all made of. And I'm borrowing a little bit from, what was that movie? I Heart the Huckabees. There's a cool scene in there where they're using a big sheet. So here's two individuals and they're connecting out here, right? However, the deeper truth is that the fabric is what connects them all. So when we go into that heart space, what we're really connecting to is this fabric. So if you do that with like the law of attraction, the secret and stuff like that, you realize that you're not calling things, so that what I'm calling the new creation law is the singularity architect. We all have a singularity consciousness within us, and we architect our life with the things around us. The old way is the law of attraction, like I'm here, and here's this thing, so this can be a thing, not even a person, and it's like, I want that thing, so I'm going to vibrate a certain level and focus in a certain way that it goes, and it comes to me, like magnetics, right? But that takes a lot of time to do that. And actually, what I've been playing with this idea in my awareness, I do that a lot, play with myself in awareness, and even the concept of folding time and space, I think, is about to go out of our awareness, because we're about to have this wholly deep understanding of something that is beyond 3D. Because if this is happening, there's no need to fold space. There's no need to attract this thing to me. I'm not trying to attract it to me. So I dissolve back into the space where I am one with it. And then I come back out with it attached to me. Does that make sense? So that's like, I got chills on the top of my head. So it's almost like, and this could be getting a little bizarre for people, but hey, I like to walk the edge. Could also almost be like when I talk about like being submerged in source, it's like a baptism. And then you come back out new, and you have the vibrations that you want. So we're not going out to this thing that is already part of me anyway to get something. I'm going down into the space where it is automatically there. This is how like high level long distance healing happens. Let's say I'm here, and let's say I want to work on Donna, who actually lives where I used to live. So there is no time and space. So I'm not really going to her like this. I'm going into that space of where oneness is. And when I go into that space, then I'm automatically in the same space she is, if that makes sense. So we're all tied by this connected heart space that is divine. It's divinely designed and divinely created. It's the heart space. It's the Christ spot. So from that space is where all great things happen. Hey, Mary, talking about living where I used to live. So this old paradigm of the law of attraction, folding time and space, is going out. The new wave of information is when you're focusing on something that you choose to have or desire or be, you meld into the fabric of everything where everything is connected. Because, I'm kind of limited with how many fingers I have, but literally there are thousands of, billions of little points on this material. Or, like an ocean, a billion waves. But take this analogy. Here's an ocean and here's a wave, okay? Is the wave any separate from the ocean? No. So eventually the wave goes back to the ocean, the oneness. So when we're in a meditation, a really cool thing, I just itched my nose on the fabric of time and space. Whoa. Okay, so I want to bring in this awareness really strong. So when we go into meditation in that heart space, we're melding into that space, we're folding into the space where absolutely everything is connected to us at once. There is no separation. So that's how there's instantaneous travel. And in a way, we are like a time machine or time-space machine. And this is the structure of that time-space machine. It's the magnetic field. You have the female orb above, the male orb below, and then you have this inertia field. So another way to think about this, see if I can do this with two hands, is here's this fabric, and this is like going along and like reading where to be on the fabric, which would be much like a laser into that spot. So our consciousness lasers into a particular place and activates, just like I'm using the CD here. So this CD looks like it is just, a flat 2D thing. However, if you've ever put a CD or DVD into a device, it makes objects that appear 3D. So out of this 2D fabric of space and time, out of this fabric of space and time that's everything, we fold ourselves out into reality as an individual. Hey, Nikki. And then other people do the same thing, and we're interacting out here. I mean, that's fine and dandy, but we also need to realize that we're also at the same time connected, and that I'm no longer going to go outside of myself trying to get what I need and want, whether it's a relationship, money, or whatever, but I fold back into this space where absolutely everything is connected. I connect with what I choose to have, and then I come out new, like baptized, come out new in that space time, actually in a slightly different state of consciousness. It's like it's been altered. So, I can go on and on with that, but let me leave it there. So let's rub our hands together there a little bit. Remember, this is the temple. The sphenoid bone that is right here is literally the Ark of the Covenant. The pituitary, which is 2 lobes, are the 2 stone tablets that the 10 commandments, which are hormones, are wrote upon. And those hormones, whenever you're happy, sad, enthusiastic, feeling spiritual enthusiasm, wherever you are, different commandments are being sent to the different parts of the body via the endocrine system, which is also the overlay of the chakra system. So when we tune into things mentally and emotionally, we have a whole cascade of happening within the body. And we have this Ark of the Covenant that we can connect directly to Source within us. We don't need a middle person, a middle thing. You don't need anything in between you and Source, because you and Source is just like this again. Because this fabric is Source. You've come out of Source. And you are a part of Source. And part of this meditation is to go into that space where you're connected to everything. Then you can interact with whatever you choose to. And then it comes from the inside out. It folds out. Like that movie I recommended. It's not a metaphysical movie, but for me, it is. And it's called In Between the Folds. It's about origami. It's pretty amazing. I mean, I need to watch that again, actually. So, going to the temples, lightly tapping over the temples. This is the gallbladder point. And your intent now, your focus is to simply sweep out the temple. Sweep out the money changers. The money changers, like Jesus threw the money changers out of the temple. Out of your mind, you want to throw the money changers. And what are money changers? The money changers are the people wanting you to buy into certain beliefs and consciousness. They want you to buy it, to be a participant of it. So you want to block those things out and come back to yourself. Don't throw your spiritual energy, aka cash, around. Sweeping one more time. Actually, let's do it one more time. Tapping on the temple, slowing it down. My mind, my heart, and my body are clear, pristine, open, and connected. Sweep off. So I'm drawing the tap above the lips and below the lips. This is governing vessel, which comes over the top of the back from the spine over to here, and then conceptual vessel that comes from here. This is a baby blue color, and this is a pink color. So this is the feminine energy, that is the masculine energy. No accident that we tend to paint our babies' rooms baby blue or pink. So this is where the male and female meet, right? Think about that. Male and female meet here, and the other end of that energy is at the genitalia. So male and female meet. And that doesn't have to be a male and female relationship. Some people that are in the same sex relationships, there's always one that's going to be more masculine, and there's going to be one that's more feminine. So there's always the yin and yang coming together. So tapping this spot here, and just imagining an energy spiraling around the body, up, down, up, down. It's called the microcosmic orbit. Microcosmic orbit. Put your tongue in the roof of your mouth, and just imagine that energy spinning. You are a miniature universe. Universe. And I totally believe that whole folding into time and space that can be confusing is that we go, so here's my body, which is the point between relativity and quantum mechanics or quantum physics, we are that unified field theory. And in my perception, we go just as far inside as we do outside. In other words, do you see how vast the world out here appears? We are that vast inside. We are the middle point of that. And then specifically, that middle point is that diamond that we're going to get to at the center of our being. So let's tap this in. I'm at one with Source. I'm at one with my divinity and Source. So how do you get how do you get a humanity to be? How do you control a whole group of humanity? I mean, billions of people. How do you control them? Is you separate them from, or give them the perception that they're separate from who created them. You make them feel separate from one another. So it's a continual separation, when in reality, there's no way in hell you can separate one person from another, because we're made from the same freaking fabric. Everything is. The stars outside are made from the same fabric. And it's a folded inward kind of thing. It's something that's hard to explain because it folds into one space. So tapping this space, I'm at one with my divinity, my source, and myself. So not letting ourselves be diffused by everything else going on in the world. Everybody's trying to, from the moment you wake up, someone's trying to sell you some kind of level of consciousness, and you have to bring it back to yourself, and you choose where you are in your consciousness. You don't let the world choose that for you. Tapping the center of the chest, my mind, heart, and body are in complete union with my divinity and source. Now bring your attention and your energy to the center of your being, which is an octahedron. It's a four-sided pyramid going up and a four-sided pyramid going down. And it's one of the Platonic solids. Plato came up with these solids a long time ago. And they actually, interestingly enough, when you go down to the molecular structure of these substances, which he did not have the ability to, they totally match. Like the icosahedron is actually the shape of water, and it relates to water. So this octahedron is air. Air is the one thing that we can live the shortest amount of time without. So bright and interesting thing about that, if you think about spirit, inspiration, breathing, it's the one thing that we have to continually let go of. You know, depending on how quickly you breathe in and out, you're having to let go of this life-giving thing at least 5 times in a given time period, in a minute. So focusing on that space where you are one with source, you are one with your breath, you're visualizing that octahedron. It's a diamond in the center of yourself, and that octahedron is where we get the Merkaba, the Star of David, and the 3D shape, the Merkaba. And I call this the Christ Heart generator. And this is it's an engine. It's literally a self-perpetuating engine when we're focused on it and it's working properly. So tapping the center, now just going inward into that space within you. And I want you to imagine there's a mini you. And now, to back up a little bit, I want you to imagine that diamond shape is like so deep inside you. It's like the center of the universe inside of you. Now you take you, a mini you, and put it inside of that octahedron, and you imagine that it is simply floating in that space within you, the heart space. And that heart space is where source is. So basically you're just bobbing up and down in source. It's like a baptism. You've gone back into the ocean. So here's a wave, goes back into the ocean. It comes back out. Just like you're breathing. And I want to bring in this perception too, because this is freaking awesome. Hey, Dawn, it's called a Helix Heart. It is actually the true way the heart works. And we tend to believe that the heart goes squeeze blood out, take blood in, squeeze blood out. But actually, it's a helical process. So you have an energy spiraling down and energy spiraling up at the same time. This is like a vortex energy in your heart. This is how your heart works, just like this. So focusing on that deep heart space within you, that octahedron. And right now, I just want you to feel the oneness of everything. Like your consciousness at this moment, depending on how deep you are in this process and how clear you are connected to everything from here to the end of the multiverse, not just this universe, the multiverse. And when you're in this space and you are affirming something or praying or asking for something, that call goes out everywhere along that fabric of time and space. So when you're really calm and clear, so here's the thing, here you are, 3D being, with everything going on with the world, vibrating a certain way, then you slow your vibration down and you meld back into the fabric of time and space, the ocean. You're it completely. So whatever you're focusing on, whatever you're praying about or asking about goes to everything that is in that space, which is all of reality. But at this moment, I just want you to feel connected to that. And now I want you to bring your attention to something that you may be, in wording the language, language is really tricky, so I don't want to use the wrong words here, but I'm going to say it negatively up front and then we'll change the wording. Something that you may be needing at this time. But here's the thing, if you are connected to absolutely everything, the concept of need goes back to the concept of separation. The only reason that humans have the sense of need or lack is because we've been purposely separated from that which gives it to us. But that hasn't really happened. It's perceptual. Remember, the whole planet is the Garden of Eden. It is like a ripe, abundant being, okay? The Garden of Eden is the entire planet. We never left it. It's our perception of judgment, and we think we're separate from it, and we think that we're separate from everybody else. And in that separation, we create the aspect of need, because that means I'm separate from something that I need. So I'm using that language, but I want you to realize that there is no separation from what you need. So let's actually let's visit that a little bit. So in this heart space, going deeply, I want you just to feel that you are connected to everything. Whether you, in the past, felt like you needed it or desired it or wanted it, I want you to bring this, just the feeling, even if it's just in your imagination, imagine that it's here, it's right there, it's in you and it's around you. Feel that feeling. While you're feeling that feeling, reach up and touch your temple area again. Take a deep breath in. And then just breathe out. Feel your connection to absolutely everything. Get rid of the words need, want. When those words come into your vocabulary, bring yourself back to unity. Because that tells you that you've been somehow, whether you watched a TV program or somebody, remember the money changers trying to sell you perceptions. So, and it's all over the place. It's on your phone, it's on the TV, it's in the music, it's in everywhere. So, whenever you feel like you've gotten separate from what you need or want, bring it back to you are connected to it. There is no separation. So in a minute, we're just going to focus on that feeling of being connected to everything. We're going to shrink, we're going to breathe in, shrink ourselves down to a pea size, and then breathe out So that process is this. The breathing into a pea size, imagining everything in the universe shrinking to a pea size inside of you. And then when you breathe out, it unfolds again, and your reality and your vibration has emerged in a new way. It's like baptizing. So take a deep breath in. Focusing on that feeling of complete connectedness to everything and everyone. And replace the words I. Try to just, for the next day or the rest of the week, try replacing the words I need or I want with I choose. Because that's all it takes. I choose. All right, people, let's just continue creating the light-filled world we all choose. Peace. Namaste.